tomboys keep offending all the right people. We can't just like tomboys. Yeah, like, dude, tomboy, and dude, tomboys and femboys are being erased. Oh my god, wait, I had an idea. You know, like those ads that play like the really, really sad music, and it's like, in the arms of an angel, like that. And then you just like, tomboys and tomgirls are being erased throughout the world. And it's like, only you can stop it. And then we do like that fucking ad, and we just have like a tomboy just like crying on stream. Like, sorry, not on stream, on video. Like, they're just fucking crying, and it plays like that music, and it goes like, call 1-800, like, whatever. Like a fucking PETA commercial. It would be so amazing. What do you guys think, chat? Should I make it? Dude, that would be so funny. Actually, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Like, I know it's kind of work, but then I love doing that kind of stuff. Like, just like absolute troll shit, Yeah. Hold on, let me see what Sora would get actually if I do that. Let me boot up it. I'm gonna put it in, and then we'll watch the video, and then we'll see at the end, like, if there's anything like good. Okay, anyway, let's watch this video while they're cooking. It's cooking, all right, guys, it's cooking.
It's like every month.
All right, guys, we've got the video here by
reactionary
We got a video here by Hero Hei. Tomboys keep offending all the right people.
Who the fuck is Leaflit?
Yeah, who the fuck is that? I'm gonna mute the alerts for now. And this is probably about there's been like a big case of people going after anime again, trying to make everything trans and gay. The typical.
It's like every month or every other month we see some reactionary trans activists on Twitter.
What did I fucking say? I
knew it. Trying to erase the representation of either femboys or tomboys. We've talked about this a lot because, like I said, this happens every month or every other month.
Tomboys and femboys are an endangered species, and they're being eradicated.
Well, this time it's tomboys. Now they're trying to erase tomboys. Hey, that character that's a tomboy, no, that's actually a trans character. I always find this ironic because they say they're against gender norms, but like I said, these are very reactionary people perpetuating outdated archaic stereotypes, and yet somehow they're so twisted in their thinking that they don't realize that's what they are and what they do.
True.
Which makes it that much more amusing as well. And so this tweet has become discourse. It's got almost 1 million views, 13,000 likes. Other reactionary trans activists are liking this, but the OP actually gets called out in the replies, but they double down, triple down, dozen down, because again, these people never have self-awareness. And so the tweet says, rewatching Avatar's funny because it's literally the opposite of that meme image of, wow, I never noticed that homophobia or transphobia, etc. because I literally didn't remember there being a trans girl in the jet crew. And their evidence of this is the screenshot from Avatar saying, maybe it's because I'm not a man, I'm a girl. As long as I'm confident with who I am, it doesn't matter what other people think. This very swiftly gets community noted. We can see it reads, Smellerbee is not a trans character in the series Avatar: The Last Airbender. She is a tomboy girl with an androgynous appearance who affirms that she is a girl. Tomboy affirming she's a girl, and this person just sees, oh, that must be trans. There's even more irony here because the OP would follow this up by saying, play Hollow Knight Silk Song, watch Haikyuu, and remember that it's okay to be yourself. Existing is not a crime.
It's okay to be yourself as long as it's within the parameters of what we want. That moves our agenda.
Dude, you're literally the one erasing tomboys. Erasing representation.
So true, Hero Hei.
Existing is not a crime, you say, as you erase other people. And you know what's even crazier? According to their own rhetoric, if you don't reaffirm their gender, they will say that you are genociding people.
I gotta play this game
well,
again.
You're not reaffirming this tomboy's gender now. So according to your own rhetoric, OP, you are now committing genocide. But they're not done yet. The OP then says, and just so you know, she can be a tomboy, trans, both, whatever she wants. She wants to be seen as a girl. She's a tomboy. You're the one that's like not allowing that.
What the fuck is going on? What the? Wait.
She wants
There's
to be
a fucking dinosaur. What is
seen as
happening?
a girl. She's a tomboy. You're
What
the one
the hell is that?
that's like
This is
not
Jurassic
allowing
Park.
that now. You say she can be whatever she wants, and you're like, but not really, because you don't want her to be a tomboy. You want her to be trans. Then the OP says, this post is not a place to open the door for transphobia. Dude, you're literally the one hurting trans activism right now. You're making it all look horrible with your own post.
Yeah,
like, that's
100%.
all on you. And the OP closes their
The trans activists are the biggest enemy of trans people. Like, actually, by the way, if you think about it, like, the amount of damage that trans activists have done to, like, trans causes is actually, like, it is at a level beyond anything that actual trans haters could possibly have wanted. It's actually ridiculous. It's so funny.
Post by writing, in fact, through this post, I discovered that yes, there are trans people who identify with the character, even though she represents something else. Art is subjective. What's not subjective is her gender. She is a tomboy. You're the one that says you can be who you want to be, but you don't stand by that. You don't want her to be who she wants to be. You're trying to alter her to fit your ideology. It's so insanely selfish. And like I already said, like you all know already as well, this is not the first time this has happened. This has happened so many times where these sort of reactionary trans activists, they try to erase the representation of tomboys or femboys while simultaneously demanding that you give them representation and you reaffirm them, but they're very happy to erase others. It is a massive double standard. And then the OP's mask falls completely off right here.
Well, the thing is, right, is that they talk about, oh, you know, we want representation and like we want representation in media. Okay, so first off, there's not many of you. There's not that many trans people, right? And it's like they want representation in like this media over tomboys and femboys, which there's more of them, right? So it's like wait, so you want to erase what you know, people who are femboys and tomboys would relate to for your own thing. And guys, it's not even like there aren't any trans people in anime. There are plenty of trans characters in anime. So it's like the idea that they have to step in to make other characters or to push the idea that other characters are trans that aren't is just taking away from other people. So like, what about their representation? What about tomboy representation when there are far more tomboys in existence?
Check this out.
One Piece has 100 trans characters, but the lefties want Yamato. Yeah, that's a good example. Is in One Piece there's a character named Yamato who everybody wanted Yamato to be trans because let's be real, Yamato's really fucking cool and really hot. So let's be real. That's the reason why, right? But even in that same arc, there's a trans character. Like one of the what's it called, the swordsman or whatever was trans, and it's like, so what, you want to take the one character that is confirmed to not be trans, and then there's a character that was like, there's a character that Oda basically confirmed was trans, and you're like, yeah, I don't want her though. I want the other character, which is like, it's just so greedy, man. This is actually literally why I said stop being greedy in like my video localizers localizers know your role, is because that's why there's a line about don't be greedy, because they're fucking greedy. It's not their thing. You have your own thing. There's plenty of trans characters in anime that you have. So like, stop trying to like take other people's characters and like fit them into the mold and then get pissed when other people call you out on it.
Response saying, LMAO, so she's a tomboy, dude. The OP says, because she drops the biggest self-affirmation of identity line from the show, because she got called a man. But yeah, she's just a tomboy. Yeah.
There's a note from chat here. Drunken Ferret says, Oda proved that she's a girl, and then if she was trans, she would have had her bad end. And then the tourists want to kill Oda after he finishes the series. Yeah, exactly. This is like how insane that they are, right? And it's like I said, Oda confirmed it in this book called the Viva Cards, where uh there was like two instances. I think Viva cards was one of them, and the other one was like a promo image where Oda confirmed that Yamato was a girl. And then the thing is specifically for Kiku Nojo, it said it says the heart of a woman, which is like what for Kiku Nojo, which would be what you would have for like that would be like the what's the word, like the cultural the cultural equivalence, basically. Like that's how they would say it in Japan.
Yeah. Just a tomboy, huh? Implying that this is like worse, that her being a tomboy is like lesser than being a superior trans character. No, she's just a tomboy. Like I said, at this point, the mask has completely fallen off.
Because she drops the biggest self-affirmation of identity line from the show, because she got called a man, but she's just a I see.
OP. You can actually see more of their laughably terrible rhetoric right here. Check this out. First, the response says, the issues of sexuality and race in Avatar are very interesting. There's no racism or homophobia up until the Blondes comics, but I believe this scene is just about a tomboy who was just part of the boys group and is reaffirming herself as a woman.
Oh, let's see the
OP
crash out
says,
here.
It could be. And I don't think it's wrong to think that way, but for me, the phrase she drops afterward seems way deeper than just that, to be honest. Again, implying it's so much lesser than what they're trying to change her to. This response says, it's shocking. Defeminized women exist, and they are constantly mistaken for men. This is misogyny.
True.
Calls the OP a misogynist. OP says, expressiveness is always going to be a problem no matter the medium. I just think it's cool how the character's speech fits into different contexts, both in terms of identity and style, even though at this time it wasn't written with that in mind. The delusions are crazy here, man.
Yep.
Literally a tomboy character, and like clearly written as a tomboy character. But OP is so delusional, they're going to say like, oh, it wasn't actually written with that in mind. Why? Because it doesn't fit your agenda? The jokes continue to write themselves. We have another response that says, why did people get so upset about the mere suggestion of the character being trans to the point of this being called misogyny? P.S. If some animal responds, it'll be ignored. A beast's place is in the corral if all it knows how to do is moo. Yeah, so let me translate that for you. What they mean is that they are a delusional reactionary weirdo, and if you don't affirm their headcanon, they're going to block you and probably also call you a Nazi. People make a tempest in a teacup and forget... This is the OP again, by the way. People make a tempest...
That's how I know I'm effective, when I get called a Nazi.
...in a teacup and forget that art is subjective. Regardless of what the character was representing at the time, her line fits into other contexts and opens up the room for other interpretations. I don't think one representation should erase the other.
You know what's funny? You know how I keep saying that these people are actually the worst enemies? They're they're actually the worst enemies of like any sort of progressive movement. Because I don't know, guys, these people have single-handedly made it like for like the culture on the internet. They have somehow made it like Nazi imagery even cooler. Like they have somehow made this happen. Like I don't know if they understand what they're doing, because they're so crazy that when they call people Nazis, people are like, oh, I guess that's cool then. It's freaking ridiculous.
You're the
worst
one doing
enemies.
that.
Literally the worst enemies of anything progressive are the actual progressive activists. Dude, what if it was all a big psyop, man? Like, what if it was like some like 1 million IQ psyop to like boost these people, like boost the progressive activists to make them look so wild and so crazy, and then stroke their ego, give them money so that they just keep inflating and getting even bigger, so that the crash will be even harder.
We've talked about this before already. The point is like they have doubled down so many times on this, and they don't see that they're literally the one erasing other people's representations. That's what's going
The
on here.
long-term
But
Hugo
they don't see it
Boss
as such
ad
because,
campaign.
again, massive ego, no self-awareness, and a lot of selfishness. Those were pretty much
Exactly.
all
That's a
of the
good point.
responses.
It's a really good point from Crown of Grass over on Kick. Is that they were really they were calling everybody Nazis, which makes it so that like the people that are actually like the people that are actually Nazis have like a giant smokescreen. Because now when people call them Nazis, like, oh, when you call them Nazis, you mean that they're probably cool then and not retarded like you. Right? Like it's like
That the OP responded to, but let's take a look at a few more here. We got this one that says, remember, if you don't fulfill every gender stereotype, then you must be trans, apparently.
Yep.
Because masculine women are only ever trans women.
True.
And little children should never be taught to be comfortable in their body as it is, right?
Yeah, this is what I said, right? When I talked about my friend and how I told my friend, like, you know, you could just be a feminine man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with you being a dude and like, you know, liking cute things. There's just nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you have to become a woman. And like this triggers trans people that like I did that. They get so mad here. Oh, so like, do you feel like you have the authority to do that? It's like, yeah, I'm talking to my fucking friend. I know them more.
Do you even realize how
No,
sexist
not
you're being?
Astra,
We
someone
got
else.
S.A. Rivera posting Ed from Bebop says, even boyish girls are still girls and want to be seen as girls. Same goes for Ed from Cowboy Bebop. Today, if a girl so much as dabbles in anything boyish, she must be transcoded. It's time for this cultish obsession to end.
Even boyish girls are still girls and want to be seen as girls? No, I don't.
This response simply saying, quote, trans people aren't erasing tomboys, you bigot, unquote. Yeah, so the joke here is that they are. But this is something that reactionary trans activists on Twitter and elsewhere in social media have said before. They say like, oh, this isn't really happening. And they say this not just in reference to tomboys being erased by them, but also femboys being erased by them. You've probably seen both. They say, once again, oh, we're not erasing tomboys or we're not erasing femboys. And it's like, you literally are. There's so much evidence of this. At times, this even exceeds social media posts, as we saw with the manga Koisuru Otome no Sukurikata, where the localizer, the EN localizer, excuse me, of course, the EN localizer erased the femboy main character by changing that femboy main character into a trans woman.
Of course.
The author found out about this, forced them to fix it,
Good, they
had
should have.
7Cs reprint the entire thing. But yeah, they'll really sit there
I
and
would've
say,
done
this
that.
isn't actually happening.
Yeah, I
I'll
would have
take
said
it
it was a
even
breach
further
of
real quick,
contract,
too.
right?
I've mentioned this as well before, but it also goes back to egg culture, where they say, oh, we need to get that person to realize that they're trans.
Legendary.
They'll look at a femboy or a tomboy or anyone who's like slightly breaking gender norms, and they will go to that person and say, you're actually trans, you just don't realize it yet. You are an egg who hasn't yet cracked. Let's help you crack the egg. And what this, of course, ultimately is, what they're ultimately doing is grooming people, or trying to at least. Fortunately, you might see trans people standing against this sort of thing. Unfortunately, the ones that stand against it tend to be a minority compared to the massive amount that push this sort of thing onto others.
Yeah,
but I'll leave it there.
They've all been, dude. Like all of the LGBT like movement has been completely hijacked. It's fucking over, man. It's over.
There, though, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great weekend up ahead, and I'll catch you in the next one.
That was a great video by Hero Hei. You guys want to see the results of our thing? Let's see. Let's see what we got. You know, let's see what I got. Let me link this real quick to all of you guys.
Tomboys and femboys are being erased. Your contributions can stop this.
Dude, actually, that's so funny.
Keep your beaches